Hello, Gresham. This is Nina Vetter, your city manager, here with our wonderful police chief, Chief Gullberg, on a beautiful day in our wonderful community. Happy to be outside. We are here today doing a Facebook Live because tonight we have a really important council meeting. So, Chief, if you could tell us a little bit about the police organizational assessment review that's on the agenda tonight and why that's so important.
Well, Nina, as you know, this process started back in 2019, so we're approaching 3 years plus. And what's most important about this process is not only the review itself, but how the review sets up our future. So what we're really excited about is, while it took a while, and I'm thankful that the community was patient with the process, and you were patient with the process, but now we have an idea of how we can be better and better serve our community. And we'll be telling the community about that tonight and the council. And again, what it really does is set up our future around strategic planning, what we hope to, goals and objectives we hope to set for our police department, but also aligning that with the strategic plan that you guys are doing for the city. So we're really excited about that. The public's going to learn tonight about the recommendations that Barry Dunn Associates has made for the police department. It's a lot. There's something like 44 we talked about, right? So we will expect that the council and our community holds us accountable to the report. We'll embrace that work, and look forward to doing that, and then address all these recommendations. You know, we talked about this. It's going to take a while. There's going to be a lot of work. We hope that the community is patient about that, but that they join in that work. So that's why tonight's important, I think, is overall you're going to get an understanding of it. By the way, did you read all 260 pages?
Of course.
You know, and I would recommend everybody reading 260 pages, but that's a lot of information. But, you know, again, it gives us that starting point to say, okay, here's what we need to understand about how to be better and how to better serve. Now let's get to work. And so we're excited about that. And you know, and the community will shortly know, that we're already in those processes. Next month, we start that process with our own strategic planning with Barry Dunn about incorporating all that we're going to learn about in the recommendations tonight and the report into the future. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too, and I'm so thankful for all the work. And so the community knows we will be posting the report online so that people can go visit our website and check it out. And of course, you can always watch our council meetings virtually from the comfort of your own home if you'd like to tune in. Also on tonight's agenda, after that, we have two other really important agenda items that I think it's important to mention. Our strategic plan for our whole city. We're a large city. We do everything from police and fire to wastewater, stormwater, water, homelessness services. We do a lot. Our strategic plan that our council has been so involved in will really serve as a vision for where we're trying to go. And in partnership with that, what's really important is that we have the resources to do the work to accomplish those goals in our strategic plan. So our financial roadmap will also be discussed tonight for adoption to talk about how we're going to get there. And it looks like, Sarah, we have a question coming in.
So I think this is one that maybe you can both address, but someone commented and said it's time to uncuff the police and that we're just going to hear a bunch of lies tonight at the council meeting. So I think, Chief, maybe do you feel restricted? Do you feel confident? Do you feel...
I think what we need to do, and we've talked about this, we recognize the challenges that we face, right? And it's not just us, it's the system-wide challenges, right? And so I think what's important is no, I don't feel restricted, but recognizing that we've been facing challenges, not just our community, right, across the country. And so we're recognizing that. We're, you know, again, to the point of we're going to hear a bunch of lies. I disagree. That's fine. I understand there's other perspectives, but because I think this report is very comprehensive overall, and it really gets to how do we be better as a police department, how do we better serve, but really more importantly, how do we partner and collaborate with all of our system partners, whether it's at the city. As you know, we often talk about, when you ask me how are we going to achieve things, we lean on our system partners, our public safety officials, you know, and agencies, the DA's office. So it's really important to understand that has to be a collaborative effort to address these issues. So no, I don't feel handcuffed. I think we can all talk about the challenges that the system's faced and how we can be better. But the starting point for me is I'm really excited about is this will give us the roadmap. You know, we talk about the financial roadmap. This is our police department roadmap to solving these issues.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why are there so many vacancies right now?
Sure. This gets talked about a lot, and what I'd like to start with, and I know we've had this discussion, is that the law enforcement or public safety is not the only industry that is facing challenges around staffing, right? And yeah, sure, there's concerns. I think we also talked about that. Decisions around employment, your own, employment is a personal discussion and a personal matter in many ways. There are any number of reasons why people leave agencies or companies or decide to change professions, right? And so that's been a challenge. And so what I'm really more excited about talking about is what we're doing to recruit and hire new people, right? Or we really want you, if you're interested in becoming a police officer, right? If you come down and see me, I'll take you to lunch. I feel like a used car salesman whenever I do that. But the reality is we need good people in our community to be police officers. And some people have just decided maybe this is not the right profession. Maybe they decided this is not the right agency. Again, those are all personal decisions. But what I really like is we're working together about addressing our recruiting, hiring, retention, the things that matter to our employees. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we're doing a good job. I think we're doing a good job. Maybe we're not getting the information out, but I think we're doing a good job.
Yeah, there's been some fantastic recruitment efforts out of police, which I really appreciate. I think also the context that's important for our community is a lot of the challenges we're facing today, whether it's vacancies in police or not able to respond to things in as quick of a manner as we would like, is our city has been underfunded for decades.
Yeah,
so
good
we
point.
don't have the staff and the resources for many, many years. This has built up. While at the same time, our community has grown and the demand for services has continued to grow and the expectations have grown, completely understandable. But the reality is we just don't have the budget and the staff to make it happen. And so that's why our financial roadmap that is going to be discussed tonight is so, so important. We're going to be asking our community at some point to invest in itself, recognizing that the challenges that we see today didn't happen overnight. They've been building for decades. And we're going to ask to work with you all to get out of it, to be able to add more resources so that every department here can be successful and so that our community can see a positive impact and really reinvest in their community.
You know what stands out to me, Nina, is you pointed out, this didn't happen overnight. And what I hope is the community has the grace to give us, because the fixes aren't going to happen overnight either. We're committed to the fixes, but we're not going to necessarily see the fruit of our labors for a while. I feel like I can expect maybe 2 to 3 years before we really get back on our feet, maybe even 5 to 7 before we can have long-term strategic planning. But the good news is we're working together. We're committed to it. We're gonna focus on retaining our current employees, and we're also going to focus on attracting people that want to serve our community. So I'm excited about that.
We hear a lot of comments often of people wanting to help. They know the police department's understaffed. They want to come and support. They want to show their support, but they don't often know the best ways to help and make sure that your department feels supported.
I think awareness is the biggest issue, right? Being aware of what's going on in your community, and then also being a participant in community safety. That doesn't mean take things into your own hands, right? That means being a good information sharer, the good witness, participating in the conversation around community safety, like neighborhood association meetings, or how you might get involved. There's opportunities to volunteer. We have CVIPs, which is the citizens that provide police assistance, volunteer assistance.
It's a great program.
Great program. We have a cadet program that are volunteers. They're a little younger, but there's a lot of opportunity to get involved without taking matters in your own hands, which we don't want. But certainly being aware and involved and participating in the conversation is how you help, and that includes supporting long-term funding, right?
Thank you.
Right? In the roadmap,
Yes.
supporting our work around strategic planning, right? So I think it's that kind of collaboration and partnership that would help best.
And maybe this is the last point that we can touch on, but even with the efforts that are going on, crime is still skyrocketing and people just don't feel safe in general. What are some of the efforts that are being done?
Great. Yeah, there's so much good work happening, and it's hard because we do continue to see crime and violence in our community, and we understand that that's not acceptable, and that people have a lot of strong feelings about that. And at the same time, there is so much good work being done. There has been so much investment that our city council has made in the last year, standing up a youth violence prevention program, adding $5 million in ARPA funds to public safety. So there is some really good work we don't talk about as often just because we're seeing so many challenges. So I'll let you, Chief, talk about a few of the things that you think have been successful.
So, what we recognize is the difficulties around our operational decisions that we have to make. But what I like to point out is regardless of the tough decisions we have to make, we are going to be there. At the end of the day, we are going to provide public safety services. We're going to respond to 911 calls, and we're going to be there when the community needs us. That said, we don't always get an opportunity to share all the good work that we're doing. Sometimes because we really can't, but we are collaborating with our system partners to address gun violence. We have members that participate in the Safe Street program, which is the federal task force to address gun violence. We are partnering with our local public safety agencies on special missions to address topics such as gun violence or stolen vehicles, retail theft, things like that. So again, we don't get to always tout and give ourselves kudos and share all the information we're doing, but I want the community to know that we're committed to their safety, right? And that we're doing what we can. But meanwhile, we're focusing, what I always pivot back to is we're focusing on hiring, recruiting, retention, getting the staff that we need. We need your community support. We need your support for the financial roadmap. But know that there are a lot of things going on to address these issues. And again, we have a lot of good people that work at our city, do we not?
We do. We have a great team here at Gresham. So
yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
How many times do we talk about the challenges that all of our employees face, but how much they do despite those challenges, right? And how much they give. It's incredible. And so I'm really thankful for the men and women that work at the police department, right? And their commitment to public safety. I'm thankful for your guys' support. And all the opportunity we have to serve our community.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Chief, and thank you, Gresham, for tuning in today. Hope to see you soon. Stay safe and healthy.